So, when a company like Spotify drops its quarterly earnings report, you better believe people pay attention. But their latest one for the end of 2025 isn't just a bunch of numbers, it's more like a statement of intent. It shows a company that's absolutely at the top of its game and is already placing a massive bet on what's next for the future of audio. Let's just start with one number. Just one, because honestly, it tells a huge part of the story. 751 million. I mean, think about that for a second. That's more people than the entire population of Europe. That's how many people are tuning into Spotify every single month. The report shows a company that's not just growing, it's hitting the accelerator. But, and this is the really big takeaway, the real story hiding under these incredible numbers is their next big bet, artificial intelligence. All right, so record-breaking quarter. Sounds great, right? But what does that actually look like in terms of numbers? Let's dig into what proves Spotify is truly firing on all cylinders. Okay, so you can think of this slide as Spotify's report card. And let me tell you, they got straight A's. They set these really ambitious goals for users, subscribers, and profit, and then they just blew right past them. It's one thing to grow, but it's something else entirely to consistently crush your own forecasts. Now, let's zoom in on this number, 701 million euros in operating income. Wow, that's not just a big number, it's a massive 47% leap from last year, and it totally smashed what they predicted. This is proof right here that Spotify's growth engine isn't just running, it's printing money. And this is the fuel for that engine, 38 million. That's how many new listeners they added in just 3 months. That's a company record for them, in a single quarter. So it begs the question, right? What in the world is pulling all these people in? And that brings us to the so what behind all these incredible numbers. You know, growth like this doesn't just happen by accident. It's the result of a really smart product strategy, one that's turning simple app features into massive cultural events. And you don't have to take my word for it. Co-CEO Alex Norstrom points the finger at one thing in particular, Wrapped. Yeah, that thing that takes over your social media feeds every December? It started as just a fun little summary of your year in music, but it is completely transformed into a global phenomenon and a serious growth engine for the whole company. I mean, just look at the scale of this thing. Over 300 million people, 300 million, jumped on Wrapped in 2025. That's a 20% jump from the year before. It went so viral, so crazy, that the day it launched became the single biggest day for new subscriber signups in Spotify's entire history. That is insane. But here's the thing, Wrapped is just the flashy, famous part of a much bigger plan. They're building this whole ecosystem to keep you locked in. Maybe you come for the music, right? But then you discover an audiobook. Or you watch a music video, and that leads you to a video podcast. Now you can even use AI to whip up a playlist for pretty much any vibe you can think of. Every new feature is just another reason to stick around, and it all feeds this powerful cycle of engagement. Okay, so all this success, all these numbers, that's the foundation. That gives them the cash and the audience to make their next big move. And it looks like their entire future is being built around one thing, AI. So this is the big question, isn't it? When you're at the top, when you already have 751 million users, where do you go from there? How do you keep things fresh and innovative instead of just, getting bigger? Well, for co-CEO Gustav Soderstrom, the answer is totally clear. He's not hedging his bets. A lot of people see AI as this scary thing for creative industries, but Spotify, they see it as their single biggest opportunity, and they are diving in head first. So their grand vision is to build what they're calling an agentic media platform. I know, that sounds like a bunch of corporate buzzwords, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple and really powerful. They want to change Spotify from something you just scroll through to something you can actually talk to, a service that gets you, that understands what you want, and puts you in the driver's seat. So what's the playbook for this? Well, it really boils down to 3 key things. First, they're building these interactive experiences you can literally talk to, like the AI DJ. Second, every time you talk to it, you're helping them create this totally unique data set that connects regular language to music, something nobody else has. And third, they're using their own internal AI tools to help their engineers build and ship new stuff way, way faster. It's a whole feedback loop. Now, to pull off a huge strategic shift like this, you often need to change at the top. And that's exactly what's happening at Spotify. It really signals the start of a whole new chapter for the company. Founder Daniel Ek, who's stepping back from the day-to-day CEO role, said this about the new leadership, and it's pretty profound. He said they're not there to protect what he built, but to build what hasn't even been imagined yet. I mean, that's a huge vote of confidence. It's a clear signal that this is all about inventing the future, not just managing the present. And this quote right here, it really sums up their whole philosophy. He says, they play the long game. While everyone else is focused on the next 3 months, that's not how they measure success. Think about it. They're pushed to be on every device, their huge investments in podcasts, and now this massive bet on AI. These aren't moves for a quick win. They are long-term plays designed to shape the entire audio landscape for years, maybe even decades to come. So that leaves us with the big final question. Spotify completely changed the world by shifting us from downloads to streaming. They already won that war. The question now is, can they do it again? Can they lead the next massive shift from just passively listening to a truly interactive AI-powered experience? That's the billion-dollar, or in their case, 751 million user question.